At this time, there hasn't been an update since the last couple of minutes that we've checked in, excuse me. But Madison Police Department did let us know in that news conference with Police Chief Sean Barnes, that 5 people lost their lives, including the juvenile suspect who is suspected to be the shooter. MPD believes that they were the shooter. They have not released any details about the shooter other than they are a juvenile. And 5 other people were injured in this incident for a total of 10 people involved in the incident that we know of so far. Now, the active shooter threat came in just before 11 a.m. Police officers from around the county and the state were responding. They found multiple victims with gunshot wounds. Now, at this time, the school is still being cleared. They're searching the area around the school now, such as the cars surrounding the school, every inch of that property, just to make sure that everybody is out safely. Now, I'm going to step aside here. This is the reunification site for parents trying to get to their loved ones. You could see police officers are trying to keep everybody kind of on this side of the road of Buckeye Road. This is the closest that we can get at this time to that reunification center. Again, that is at SSM Health Dean Medical Group. This is the information that we have at this time. Police Chief Sean Barnes says he is not able to share at this time the demographics of those who were injured. He cannot say if they were students, teachers, staff. He wasn't able to specify on that end.
As those parents hope to reunify with their children, the school is posting that to Facebook.
Yeah, so they're saying 3 now? Okay. Yes, so Police Chief Sean Barnes with Madison Police Department did say that around 2:30 they would be giving another briefing at Fire Station 14 with any updates that they may have. Now, like you said, these details, it's fluid. It's an ongoing investigation. Details are coming in as we are hearing it. So we are trying to keep you all updated and informed in the best way that we can, as quickly as we can. So it sounds like that number has been moved back down to 3. That is the number that they went with earlier. Now we're trying to confirm if this does include the suspect. Mark, you may have said that it does. I'm sorry, my IFB is in and out of my ear here, so you're coming in and out here. Now, officers from around the county responded to the scene just before 11 a.m. That's the county and the state. They found multiple victims with gunshot wounds. They believe that a juvenile is responsible for this. I'm going to step aside here. Again, this is the reunification site. First responders have moved this fire truck here. My guess is to provide some sort of privacy for the families who are involved in trying to be reunified with their loved ones. You could see that the closure down towards Stoughton Road, it looks like that squad cars are either blocking the road entirely or they're going to be moving out here soon. It looks like they're going to be blocking it off entirely. That is in a different position than where we were earlier today. Earlier today, we had, as we were on our way here, we were, there was also family members trying to get over here as well. We could see them in their cars, squad cars, first responders, everybody trying to get near this intersection of Buckeye Road and Stoughton Road. Again, this is the closest that we can get at this time to that reunification center. Do want to give privacy to those families at this time. Again, that is near the SSM Health Dean Medical Group. You could see that sheriff is now pulling out and away. They have not blocked off this area over here, only on the one side. So anybody coming from that area is going down this way towards Stoughton Road on Buckeye Road. That has not been blocked off quite yet. It looks like they're repositioning themselves over there, however. So we will keep you updated. Again, the next conference will be around 2:30 at Fire Station 14. Any details that they're able to share with us at that time, they will.
Pretty much everyone who showed up earlier is in that building right now. I haven't seen many people come out of it right now. But again, authorities are directing people here at the intersection of Buckeye Road and Stoughton Road where to go. The intersection congested right now with emergency vehicles. Also, the school right up the road here to my right. So this is kind of the intermediary between the school and Memphis when they turn right here onto Buckeye Road. So we're going to stay here on the scene. Not quite sure what the plan is for the parents going forward here. If they're staying in there until their students physically get dropped off here. If that's how it's going to work, we're going to have to wait and see. But again, we're kind of in this holding pattern at the moment as we wait to hear from some parents about what the process is here going forward. Reporting live from the east side, I'm Tim Elliott from 15 News. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, that was emotional. That was an emotional moment. Seeing these parents, this is probably their worst nightmare just before the holidays, just before winter break. I know we had mentioned it earlier. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago that I was one of those students who was just amped for the holidays and winter break, and for something like this to happen, it's absolutely unimaginable. And I can't. My condolences go out to all the families that are involved. I know that Police Chief Sean Barnes, one of the questions I was asked is if there were metal detectors in the school, and you could just hear the frustration in his voice. There shouldn't be. Students should be able to go to school and feel safe, and this is happening in our own community now. And like I had mentioned earlier, behind me is that reunification site. I believe that this fire truck here has been moved to provide some of those families some privacy at this time at the SSM Health Dean Medical Group. You could see officers are still surveying the area. It looks like they are starting to block off near Stoughton Road. This has been blocked off, but they're changing format a little bit over there, possibly to keep through traffic from coming through this way. There's no longer a line of cars. Earlier today, there was a line of cars trying to get closer to that SSM Health building. That line is no longer there. My guess is those were family members trying to get in touch with their loved ones and trying to reunite with their loved ones. Coming from the opposite side of Buckeye Road, it doesn't look like that is blocked off either, but heading, I believe it is east on Buckeye Road, it is still blocked off. They are still directing people as needed. They want people to avoid this area if they do not need to be here at this time. Again, the next briefing will be at 2:30 at Fire Station 14, where they will share more details with us as they come in. We have shared what we know so far, which is that several people have been killed. First, it was 3 people that MPD were telling us. The number got moved to 5. It is now being moved back down to 3. They killed the suspected shooter, who was a juvenile. They are not able to share any more details at this time in regards to them. They are also not able to share any details at this time in regards to the demographic of those who were either killed in this tragic incident or injured. They did say that 5 people were injured. Again, my IFB is coming in and out, so I don't know. Mark, you had mentioned the number 3. I don't know if that 5 injured has been changed, but that is what we were told during that 12:30 news conference. Again, more information is going to come in at 2:30 at Fire Station 14. That is the information that we have at this time.
It was changed to 5, just so you know. Or from 5.
Okay. Evan, I need to put I don't have any gloves. I'm freezing out here. I can't feel my hands. Hold on.
Steph said the wrong thing, apparently, which is crazy.
Yeah, can you give me 1 second? Yeah, I'm good. Sorry, Evan. Yeah.
Should I tell everyone? Okay, you're gonna.
Absolutely. So from where I'm standing, again, I'm standing near the Quick Trip. I'm right in front of the Quick Trip on Buckeye Road. From where I am standing, this is the closest that we are able to get to the reunification site, which is at SSM Health Dean Medical Group. You could kind of see that this fire truck here is giving these families some privacy, some much needed privacy at this time as they are being reunified with their loved ones. Now, as you had mentioned, 3 people were killed in this incident and 7 were injured. They do believe that the shooter was a juvenile, that person has also been killed. They are not able to share any additional details about them at this time. Now, when this call first came in, officers from around the county and the state responded and found multiple victims with gunshot wounds. All MMSD schools went on lockdown. However, there is no threat to MMSD schools. Again, Abundant Christian Life School is a private school. MMSD schools went on lockdown just to be safe. Now, you could see over here near Stoughton Road, officers are still redirecting traffic. They are coming over here, telling us what they can, when they can, and then we are relaying that information to you. They're still redirecting people, trying to get people to avoid this area. We could see a sheriff is over there, Madison police. This looks like it is a state patrol car. I could be wrong from where I'm standing, but that is what it looks like from over here. That over there is Stoughton Road. So it looks like they're still redirecting people who could be possibly going to the SSM Health Dean Medical Group to be reunified with their loved ones. You could see earlier today there was a long line of people just waiting to be reunified. And that line has since cleared. First responders did an amazing job of getting people into this area where they need to be and keeping people safe while doing so. That is the information that we do have at this time. Again, at 2:30, there is going to be another news conference with any additional information at Fire Station 14, and we are going to have those details readily available for everybody. Absolutely. So earlier today when we had first arrived, there were sirens, there were dozens of squad cars, dozens of first responder vehicles with their lights on, telling people, hey, you need to avoid this area. They were redirecting traffic. Now, as you mentioned, things have quieted down a little bit. I also think that is because there is no longer the line of cars over here. There's no longer the hum of that cars. You could almost feel that anticipation that was coming out of those cars of people who were trying to get to that reunification site with their loved ones. Sorry, it's a little emotional out here. Like you had mentioned earlier, there were parents, you could just see them running towards SSM Health Dean Medical Group with the hopes that their loved ones were okay. So. Okay. Are you okay?
Go for something warm about now. No, after I hope that's mud. You know, after all this, after you stand out here, somebody's going to go and go, oh, those gloves just got man hands. Network is here.
Mm-hmm.
Or Chicago, one or two.
Evan, can you hear me?
Jesus Christ. Turn her down a little bit. Holy Christ. Yeah, I will definitely keep an eye out for that bus. I'm not seeing one at this time near Buckeye Road again. I'm standing in front of the Quick Trip, and I want to share something that I saw. A worker from this Quick Trip came out with a cart, tons of water bottles on it. This kind of just shows the community impact that this is going to have. Coming out, I'm sure she did not anticipate this. Oh, excuse me, just a moment. I will get back to this. However, this bus is coming through on Buckeye Road here. It's being escorted by squad cars, as you can see. We're going to see if it's going to turn to the SSM Health Dean Medical Group. It appears that the bus is going to be turning in. As Chloe had mentioned, we believe that there are students on this bus. Again, this is on the 4900 block of Buckeye Road, standing right in front of that Quick Trip, the SSM Health Dean Medical Group. It looks like they are pulling in, and this is the moment that some of these parents have been waiting since they got here for.
Yes, so right in front of the bus, I'm not sure if the camera was able to pick it up or not, but there is a group of people, and it looks like many of them have the vests on, that they're police personnel or first responders, law enforcement, anybody involved in that, just kind of waiting to greet the students as they come off of the bus. We believe that there are students on this Madison Metro bus that came from Abundant Christian Life School, where Chloe Morrissey was, over here to the SSM Health Dean Medical Group. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, earlier I had mentioned that, this just shows how this is impacting the community, that this is not just those who are involved in this incident, but this is a community incident. I'm standing right here on Buckeye Road, right in front of this Quick Trip, and we are seeing some of the workers coming out with carts just full of the water bottles, bringing it to the people who are over here. And as they were coming back, you could just see the emotion on their face. You could just see it. To me, it looked like horror on their face of what they possibly heard, saw, the emotions that they were trying to grasp as this is happening in real time. You could see here that they have moved this fire truck here. We believe it is to offer some much needed privacy for these families at this time and for the students who may be getting off the bus at this time. There's still a couple of cars lined up over here. We believe that they're trying to get to that reunification site over there. People are still directing traffic. We had the police, Village of Oregon police over here. Now, Chief Sean Barnes did say that officers from around the county, around the state, people from the FBI were calling him. People are responding to this scene. It's been an all-hands-on-deck situation for law enforcement. Now, around 2:30 at Fire Station 14, we will be getting an update from law enforcement from Madison Police Department about any details that they may be able to share at this time. As we mentioned, that number of who has been killed in this incident and who has been injured in this incident is fluctuating. But the numbers that we have as of right now is 3 people killed, 7 people injured. The juvenile who is believed to be the suspect in the shooting is deceased at this time. The threat has been neutralized. MMSD schools did go on lockdown a little bit earlier today. However, Abundant Christian Life School is a private school. Those schools, there is no threat to those schools at this time. When that information comes out at the 2:30 news conference, we will be sure to share that with you. At this time, there is only one bus. We've only seen one so far. That is the first one that I have seen. I haven't seen any others. So there is just one bus here at this time, and it's kind of pulled a little ways away, again, to give those families the privacy that they deserve at this time. When do they want us to head out to the? Are we going to the fire station?
I have no idea.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, you know, when you get these big companies going to buy stations, you don't do it at a TV station. And we're at the scene, guys. We're at the scene.
Evan, do you know who is going to station 14? I just don't know, like, okay.
I see ABC on your jacket. I'm with ABC News.
Oh.
Good Morning America.
Oh, okay.
Do you have found anybody that you got hospitalized yet?
No, not yet. Not family or anything yet, just police.
As we're trying to look for people at ABC as well.
Okay.
I may be here a while. You want to take my phone number real fast? You do?
I'm about to do a hit, but in a second.
Where are you at?
No, we have not seen any other buses yet, I should say. We just saw the one. We have not seen another one yet. And again, that one bus that has pulled in, it has gone really far behind us. So it's kind of giving the much needed privacy that these families and students deserve at this time. Again, we have not seen another bus. So we've only seen one bus, and we believe there are students from Abundant Christian Life School on that bus, meeting at the reunification center with hopes of reuniting with their loved ones. As you can see behind me, there is no longer a line of parents waiting to get into the SSM Health Dean Medical Group parking lot to be reunified with their loved ones. Over down this way, closer towards Stoughton Road, police are still blocking off Buckeye Road and redirecting traffic and redirecting people who are trying to go through this way. I know, Mark, you had shared the address of this clinic, or excuse me, the Dean Medical Group earlier today. Police
police do want people to know to avoid the area unless you absolutely need to be over here. You can still see that they're redirecting. There's tons of agencies here that are responding. Chief Sean Barnes said that they are from across the state, across the county. People in the FBI were calling him, checking on his community. And he had mentioned, you know, you could kind of hear the frustration in his tone as he was saying, this is our community now that we're talking about here. This is, you know, this is right in front of our faces here. This isn't in another community. This is the Madison community now. And you could hear the frustration, like I had said, in his voice. Somebody asked if the school had metal detectors. And again, he just said, this is a school. There shouldn't be metal detectors. We had mentioned earlier that as this information is coming in, it is fluid. It's an ongoing investigation. We do now know that the number has changed to 3 people are dead and 7 people are injured. Police did share that the juvenile suspect is dead at this time. The threat has been neutralized. MMSD schools also went on lockdown earlier today. There was no active threat to MMSD schools. Again, Abundant Christian Life School is a private school. However, MMSD schools went on lockdown just to be safe. There is no threat to those schools at this time. There still is not another bus coming our way. I'll pan a little bit. Let's take a look this way. You could kind of see right over here, first responders are still directing people on where to go. And you could see marked cars, unmarked cars, lights are still on. The sirens have died down a little bit. I know earlier today it was really loud. There was a long line, like I had said, of parents and family members just trying to get to their loved ones. I'm sure that there is a sigh of relief going on over near SSM Health for those who are being reunited with their family members. It doesn't look like, from where I'm standing, that the bus is still over there. The bus may have pulled out a little bit further away from us, but from where I'm standing, I no longer see the bus. I also mentioned earlier that there was a group of people standing in front of the Dean Medical Group that was like law enforcement, first responders, people who were clearly a part of police personnel waiting and standing with people. Earlier today, Mark, you had mentioned we saw this scene that keeps replaying in my head as well of parents that were just running to the reunification site with the hopes that their students are okay. Yeah, that was that. Yes, that's another thing that's going to stick with us who are here at the staging site. I don't think that Quick Trip worker came in today expecting that her day at work was going to look like this. But I saw her come out with a cart full of water bottles, and her and another woman were kind of sprinting past us, getting this cart to the reunification site, getting these water bottles to people who are standing over there. And it's small things like that where I'm sure it made all the difference. And when she was coming back, you could kind of just see the emotion on her face. You could feel the emotion here as well between the media outlets. Emotions are running high, and you could see, I think I described it earlier, just the look of horror on her face. And like I said, I don't think she was anticipating that, but it goes to show when community needs to come together, they come together. So yeah, I think that the people who were there are probably going to appreciate that small act of kindness that really, in my opinion, makes a little bit of a difference. Okay. Do you want to do it right now? Yeah. Evan, we're gonna change our camera battery. Can we pack up? Okay, sounds great. Thank you. Sounds great. Is Dade gonna meet us over there? Thank you. Okay.
All right, figured that out. Yeah. I think that questions will look like, because I don't know how much more time we have in between. Okay, all right, that's fine. Yep, no wait. No. You don't. Yeah, so they're all just sort of that way, okay? Well, maybe.
Hey Cody, did I give you that little mic tripod? Can you just have everybody do that? Make everybody. I'm sorry. Make everybody do. Stand for everybody. Mind if I?
Hey, what's going on? Am I? Yeah, I was gonna say, am I in your shot?
You're good, you're good.
Okay, cool. Yes, let's go.
I might have to make those sticks a little bit bigger.
Beyond this today, but
Not sure.
wagon for now. Still good?
Yep.
Are we still saying 2:30?
For now, yeah.
Yeah. We'll plug this in Cody for a bit.
We getting hours?
No.
We're not good, actually.
There's a reset button. Yep, thank you.
You have power?
Yeah.
No, I'm good now.
Camera set up and I mean, there's other news stations that you can aren't here yet. Okay. I'll just call you if anything else comes up. Alright, yep.
up, James?
What's going on, dude? So does the live view work?
Yeah. Here, let me plug it
Do
in.
you have like a Ethernet or a?
No, there's
yeah.
not.
Oh, there is. I see that.
Hey.
Feel free to use these tests if you need them, please.
Can you hear me? Hey, I was just gonna listen to that meeting before we start. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right,
It doesn't
have
matter to me,
have
whichever
somebody
you'd
call
rather
me.
do. I was just getting. And then.
But is this being received in these
Well,
calls in your job?
that's the,
It's a busy day.
how quickly can we go on?
No way.
Yeah, some batteries.
I just need a couple minutes if you like. Not a couple minutes.
Bob on me and just dial down the stick.
Do that.
You can do it right away, sir.
Are you talking going on before or after the press conference? I missed after.
That's my gun, so
Well, do you want me to take my card out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I,
Yeah.
so what he's gonna do is I'm gonna wear him off mic and he's just gonna dial down the stick mic at the end of the presser so that they have to go to the stick. I'm gonna wear him up. Do you have any sound for me? I guess we're not gonna worry about cutting anything. You. Sure, okay. All right. Have somebody call me for the meeting. I will my mic as soon as the music.
I have one too.
Oh, that's all right.
Drop down the stick levels.
You got
That's
headphones
plugged in,
on?
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we won't have any interference. Do you have audio here of me? Mic check 1, 2, 3. We'll just double check and then I'll turn this off to save battery. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Mic check. Okay. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna run to the restroom.
That's right. I forgot you were this guy.
Do you have a white balance? Or do you
Yeah, I
have-
did. I wiped down. You tell me it was this guy.
Should you be at the merch table?
Not today. Thanks for sending some of those.
Oh my God, no problem. Microphone?
Make sure I hear
This is ours?
Yeah. All right, we gotta can we get a tiny bit for our city channel here? All right, let's get right there, Jesse.
This is what you bought.
Do you want a cable, Ryan?
What?
Do you want a cable?
Do you think we should move these back? These tables back, just so you get that more room? Oh, wait, wait.
There's a spot here, if somebody needs to come to that.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, tell them I'm ready to go, but I don't know how. I think we need to talk to our engineering first. We call Fred, but
I got an email from engineering. Did you get that?
I don't. I'm not on my email.
Okay. They paired it with me though.
Oh, they did, so we should be good then.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, can you hear me?
Hey, this is Bill.
Fred?
You see us, we're on live 6.
So tell them we're connected and ready to go.
Okay, schedule to start at 2:30. And then, Reem had somebody put down the video you got.
Does he see it?
He's not. Probably working.
Hey, Fred. So I'm good. How are you? Yeah. We're trying to send our stuff over to NewsHour. I have the live view all hooked up. Just wondering if there's anything I need to do on my end or the engineers end or can they just get into our feed?
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, it's right here. It's right beside. I thought that was this guy.
Okay. No, I can call him. I think so, yeah. Let me, I think I have it. If I don't, I'll text you. All right, thanks, Fred. Bye.
I'm on the phone with him.
Did they see it? Yeah. Let me call.
Yep, I'm here. Say that again? Can you stop screen? I'm gonna put you on with Ethan here, who's also with me.
Hey Sam, this is Ethan. I'm the hotel. What's up?
I got audio.
It says that your unit is already streaming. Can you stop it?
That's gonna have to be through our engineering department. If I stop it, I don't think you guys will be able to see my feed from my camera. All right, we stopped it. Yeah, it's of our thumbnails of our media clips.
Okay.
Yeah, just let us know, no problem. Yeah. gonna hit play right now. Yep. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye, Sam.
Yep, no problem. Hey Eric, Ethan Friel here. So we're gonna be live for the press conference here in a little bit. Right now I'm sending video back to NewsHour and they have remote connected to our live view. Should I stop the stream after I send all the stuff back? Yeah. Well, Fred wants it for them though, too. Like live. They want to share it live. NewsHour does. When they're done. Okay. Not really, because I think they want it too. So could they can get it from us still?
Yeah, I saw that. So just, it's 15 seconds. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I am probably, I think I am recording tonight. At some point, we'll connect with them. We can adjust it about the shoot. So I don't think.
Yeah, no problem.
So that's like 45. They can cut the sound back there unless we have time.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, good deal. I am checking in with Corey, who's driving here. I need him to start getting all the cards or video either sent to him or he will walk, he will meet up with them to get those cards. So we're going to be seeing video, just all kinds of goals, etc.
Okay, let's see. He says they can see the audio.
I've got a lav mic on.
Oh, really? Shit, I don't know why I can see that.
Just keep in mind when news conference ends, I either watch, the shot in the anchors of conference where you cut away from things. I don't care if it's regular.
I'm in my SDI.
Walking in and out of the shop. So, but I'll be ready to go.
I have no idea. I can try to do it again.
Okay, go sides of 4 and 5.
They want me to stop.
Would you rather he stop right now and try it again?
Both sides at 4 and 5, I think, and then I will connect with Corey on the package tonight.
Okay.
Sounds good, okay. Okay.
Yep, all right, thanks. Bye.
All I can do is hit buttons.
Where's your stand? What? Your stand?
We can just crop it out.
Sensors, and if there's so much ambient light, it shuts down. Okay, for energy saving. I mean, we can shut the, and see if that helps. Can you all back there shut these blackout
Just say, if you wanna
curtains?
open those, that'd actually be more helpful for us.
It might get the light to come back on if we.
Is everyone in agreement that that light's better than these lights?
Well,
Yeah,
there
if
was,
you
Okay.
can have
Do-
the windows
yep.
instead of those lights, that'd be great.
Set it up however you need.
there was lights on over here. I think he was trying to say it comes on naturally.
Yeah, that if it's dark and the lights come on, but I don't want overhead lights.
Sorry, I had 3:30. I'm so sorry. I think no, I know it's really.
You can just stay right
Yeah. Okay. Hey. Yep.
3:45 scripts. Okay.
No, not
Yeah, hi
yet.
Sam.
I know.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Okay, sounds good.
No problem.
They figured it out?
Okay, thank you.
They figured it out?
I think they can just see them and it's not being recorded. Yeah, I don't know.
You said go ahead before the process.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
I don't know if that means like they're not taking.
Did you say just,
There.
we're just gonna be taking a look at the conference?
Okay, I called you because they were saying they could see our audio bars, but they realized that that's just even not how the video is being sent back, so false alarm, I guess. Would you care if I said something? 10 minutes, right? Are you guys doing 5? Sure. Yeah, so I'll be sending them the first Chief Barnes interview, and I can stop it after that before sending B-roll, and then I can get you guys dialed in, if that works. All right, see you. Hey, Leafy. You're gonna let Sam know we're just gonna send him the first interview, and we'll send the B-roll afterwards. Okay. If that's cool with them? Yeah. See if that's cool with them.
I think it's the other way.
Yeah. Sometimes when we get a traffic, super weird about the window. I don't know, clearly. That's what
Okay, just so everybody knows that, so that it's gonna be Madison Police Chief Barnes, Sean Barnes. It's gonna be Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, and then County Executive Melissa Agard. So, it's happening. Sure. Ask Lucas, he knows all the stuff. SATYARORHODES, Conway. You can ask Lucas. We'll figure this one out. You guys got it.
Test 1 2 3. Test. Hi, Haley. Can you hear me? One, two, three. Hi. Hi. 1 2 3. Are we ready?
Are you ready? Does this sound good? Okay. Mic check. Mic check.
I'm sure Adam will get on IT, and I think we're just gonna go like pretty much right away, so I can tell you get on IT, if you want, all that right now. Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, hold on, they send an email out.
Hi, we're just waiting for the fire chief to be in, and then we'll have everyone come in to do this. If you weren't at the scene, what we are going to do when it comes time for questions is we're going to have each outlet ask one. Dylan here will essentially point from left to right our way, and then each reporter again will be granted one question, and then we'll have them answer that way.
So just raise your hands. We're going to answer questions. So
Yeah.
yes. Any questions right now? We're just waiting for the.
How far is the chief?
He's supposed to be here any second. So it's going to be Police Chief Barnes, and then Fire Chief Carbon, and then Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, and then County Executive Melissa Agard. And then we'll take questions after that. All right. See you in a minute. know you're setting up. We're all gonna have to walk right through here, so. Do you guys mind like doing right over there? Moving on a little bit.
This is the part where, again, I would normally start by saying good afternoon and thanking you for being here, but under these circumstances, I'll just give you a minute to start your live streams or do whatever you need to do. And while you're doing that, my name is Chief Sean Barnes, S-H-O-N-B-A-R-N-E-S. I'm currently the Chief of Police for the Madison Police Department. I'll be providing a brief update of the school shooting that we had today in Madison. There is some information that we're not going to release because it's still an ever-evolving situation. You'll hear from some of our representatives from our city and from our county, and behind me are a lot of people who came together today to make sure that the day ended well and that everyone else was safe. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start my remarks. Today truly is a sad day for Madison and for our country. It is a day that I believe will live in our collective minds for a very, very long time. Here are the details. Today at 10:57 a.m., our team was called to the Abundant Life Christian School in reference to an active shooter. We know that 3 people are dead, including the suspect shooter. We know that the suspect shooter was a teenage student who attended the school. At this time, we're not releasing the age or gender of the student or any other identifying remarks about the student. 2 other people have died. That died were a teacher and a teenage student. 6 other people were injured. 2 students are now in critical condition in the hospital, and these injuries are considered life-threatening injuries. 4 students are also at other area hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. But these are just the physical injuries that we know about. We know that this was the middle of the day of a school day, and so there will be other injuries that we'll have to face for a very, very long time. And we're going to do everything we can as a community to heal those injuries as well. Many of you have asked me about the why of this. Why did this happen? What do we know? What was the motivation? I do not know. But I will tell you this, our detectives are working hard in the investigative process to find out as many answers as we can so that we can further prevent these things from happening, not only in this community, but in other communities around our country. I think we can all agree that enough is enough, and we have to come together to do everything we can to support our students, to prevent press conferences like these from happening again and again and again. The school building itself is clear. We have cleared the school. There's no other threats or danger to the community. We're in the process now of what we call reunification. And what that simply means is making sure that every student that was in the school is present and accounted for and returned to their loved ones. This usually takes a while, but we have practiced, unfortunately, and practice, and that's why we're able to reunify students with their parents within hours of a school shooting. The reunification is taking place at the Dean Clinic on Stoughton Road, and I certainly thank them for their help. Again, we need our public to find an alternate route. If that is your normal way home as we get closer to the end of the day, please be patient or find another route home. We're currently processing the scene. We're interviewing those who may have been witnesses, and we're obtaining search warrants to get additional information. And lastly, I want to just say thank you to everyone who's standing behind me, the organizations and agencies that they represent, the men and women of the Madison Police Department and Dane County Sheriff's Office who selflessly ran into a building not knowing what they were going to encounter. Many of you know this about me, but I started my professional career, if you will, as a public school teacher back in 1997. And I taught public school for 4 years. It was one of the greatest joys of my life before becoming a police officer. And I can tell you what a special place our schools are. With that being said, we owe it to our community to do everything possible to ensure that it's not only a special place, but a safe place as well. And we're going to continue to do that. So we ask for your patience as information is coming in. We will do the best that we can to bring you accurate and timely information, but we want to make sure that our public knows that we're working extremely hard on this particular incident. There are a lot of people involved, and certainly we're going to come together as a community. I'd like to bring up at this time Police Fire Chief Chris Carver.
Thank you, Chief Barnes. Before I start, the only thing I can say is this is not a place that any fire chief or any one of us would ever want to be, and I can't believe I'm standing here today talking about this incident. The fire department is a part of this community, much like all of the folks standing up here with me today. Our hearts are with and our arms are around everybody impacted today and everybody within our community. With that, I won't repeat the details shared by Chief Barnes, but I will share with you the fire department activity for today. Much like Chief Barnes mentioned, at 10:57, we were also dispatched with Engine 5 and Medic 5 to the same location. Throughout the course of the incident, we responded with 5 engine companies, 4 ladder companies, 15 ambulances. I would like to take a moment and share our gratitude for our county partners throughout a multitude of EMS and fire agencies that joined us in the response today. We also had 11 off-duty chief officers that came in on this response, so it was a tremendous response from the fire department. We transported 4 patients to St. Mary's. We transported 3 patients to the University of Wisconsin hospitals. On the arrival of our crews, I can say my gratitude to our membership for what they did and their selfless actions today. It's hard for me to place into words what they ran into as well. They did that immediately, they did that selflessly, and within a course of 15 minutes from the first transport to the last transport, all the patients were on their way to the hospital. So to our membership within the Madison Fire Department and within all the emergency services, my gratitude, my recognition of the work that goes into this, the training that went into this, that again, we had hoped we would never have to put into practice. One more time on behalf of the Madison Fire Department, our hearts are with you, our arms are around you, and we will be with you throughout the duration of this. So at this point, I'll step aside, turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Chiefs, both of you. This is an incredibly sad day for our community. As you've heard, there is no danger to the community at this time, but our entire community has been impacted by this tragic incident. On behalf of the Common Council and the City of Madison staff, I want to offer our heartfelt condolences to the victims and families and to the whole Abundant Life community. Our focus now is on supporting them and supporting the victims and their families. And we will continue to do that through the coming days and weeks. I also want to thank our first responders, the police, fire, the medical staff, for their quick action and their life-saving efforts. As you've heard already, this is a whole of government response. It is not just police and fire. It is not just City of Madison. We have folks from all around the county. We have folks from multiple agencies engaged in both the initial immediate response and the ongoing support, and will be engaged for days and weeks to come. I also want to thank the White House and the governor and others in the federal government and state government for reaching out to offer their support and help. We will be drawing on resources as needed going forward. But the most important thing right now is to make sure that we are centering the victims and their families, and that we are doing whatever we can to support them and to help them heal, and to lift our entire community up through this difficult incident. I am on record that I think we need to do better in our country and our community to prevent gun violence. And I hoped that this day would never come in Madison. It is not something that any mayor, any fire chief, any police chief, any person in public office ever wants to have to deal with. And so I will ask our entire community and our entire country to do whatever we can to make sure that no public official ever has to stand in this position again. And now I'll invite the county executive to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. today our community is reeling from the heartbreaking and senseless tragedies at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. As a mom who received a text from her son at a high school here in the city of Madison wondering if he was safe, I can tell you, this hits you in the gut. Our community is better than this. Our country is better than this. Cannot continue. My heart goes out to the victims and their families and the students and the educators, and the list goes on and on. Every one of us is affected by this unimaginable and unacceptable violence that has hit our community today. School community. The Sheriff's Department, the Department of Emergency Management, Department of Human Services have all been on the front lines. My phone has been ringing from people across our state and our nation asking what it is that they can do to help our community. And right now, it is our time to be committed to supporting this school, these students, and these families, and our first responders who went into that building during this devastating time. We must work closely with our law enforcement officers and first responders, mental health professionals, community leaders, and policymakers to ensure that we are taking care of one another. No community should ever have to endure such a tragedy. And my administration is going to do everything that it can to provide assistance to those who have experienced this devastating loss, and also do everything that we can to prevent such tragedy from occurring. To all of those who are grieving in our community, please know that you're not alone. Dane County stands with you. We're here to support you in any way possible. Please reach out and ask for help. The governor's office, as well as the mayor's office, and I will continue to update the public as we learn more. But please understand, there are many things that we cannot share with you right now. This is an active investigation. This is an active case. The SSM Health Clinic near the intersection of Buckeye Road and Stoughton Road is the reunification center. I know that that has been out, but we need to make sure that folks know where it is that they can go to be reunited with their children. Again, in the coming days, we are going to make sure that we are supporting those that have been most impacted by this. But folks, reach out, ask for help. This does not need to be the reality of our community. Thank you.
All right, we'll start over here with questions. Just raise your hands.
Tell us, how did this unfold? Can you give us a bit of a timeline, how your officers got into the building?
Sure. We received the call at approximately 10:57 a.m. Someone from the school called 911 to report that there was an active shooter. That means something different to us, obviously. There's different protocols that go out, tone alerts even, so that even if officers are busy doing other things, they respond. One of the things that I do want to note is that our training center is about 3 miles from there. We have special event team medics, those that work with the fire department, responded to this particular scene from their training day. So what began as a training day became an actual day. And so that's how this call originally came in.
Nicholas, did you have a question?
What can you tell us, if anything, more about this shooter and what their motivations were, or have you made contact with their family members? Anything updated on that?
Sure. There's nothing new that I can tell you about the shooter at this time. Again, as difficult as today is, that's still someone's child that's gone. That's still someone that has to deal with what happened today. And so we want to make sure that we can ensure as much cooperation as we can. You asked me about why, as I stated before. I don't know why. And I felt like if we did know why, we could stop these things from happening. But what I will tell you is, as soon as we are done with the investigation, any information that we uncover that will not compromise the safety of anyone involved or compromise the confidentiality of any of these children that are involved, we'll tell you. I just ask for your patience.
All right, over there. Sorry, go right ahead.
Chief, what kind of gun was used today?
We know it was a handgun. We know a handgun was recovered.
All right, sit down right there.
Was the shooting confined to one classroom, or did it spread out throughout multiple?
We know it was confined to one space. I do not know if it was a classroom or a hallway. One of the things that we've gotten very good at, certainly different from in my day, is that if you do not need to be in a crime scene, you do not need to go to a crime scene. And so the crime scene and those persons who were involved, they have that crime scene locked down. I did not go or enter into that crime scene. But if you can imagine, most schools, the students go together, but they are segregated. So on each different floor, in each different group. And so there's no evidence that anyone else was injured that was not in the age group.
Danielle?
What can you say at this time about how school staff responded when the shooting started?
I cannot speak to how the school staff responded. You know, we did have injuries, but it could have always, of course, had additional injuries. I do not know what the school's protocols are. Again, this is a private Christian school. I know that we have a very good rapport with MMSD, Madison Metropolitan Schools, public schools. So we have done trainings for them before, but I would assume that most of the teachers have the same or some similar type of training as a part of their certification.
There's conflicting reports online about how many students are enrolled at the school. Can you confirm approximately how many students attend the school?
I do not know how many students attend the school, but their website says that they serve about 200 families.
Right in the back, White.
What kind of support systems are going to be made available to people who are affected by this?
That's a good question. As you heard from our mayor and our county exec, we have services within our government that will be made available to them. I have a lot of confidence that they're going to follow through on that, and we'll make sure that that persons who need to. Do you guys want to speak to that?
So, Dane County Human Services, as well as the Red Cross and other consolidated agencies, are already on scene. And we will continue to be on scene, and those resources will be bolstered. Again, please reach out. You are not alone. We are going to navigate this together, and there are people who are affected by this trauma who are not in the reunification center or at the school. We need folks to be reaching out because we do have resources available.
Did you know if Abundant Christian Life School, did they have a school resource officer employed?
It's not my knowledge that they had a school resource officer. That if they did, it would be a police officer, and I know where they all are, and they're not in the schools right now.
15 in the back there.
So in terms of witnesses that you mentioned about investigation, you know, what is that looking like, and how many
Sure.
witnesses are you guys speaking of?
Sure. So the detectives will talk to anyone who may have seen this particular event unfold, anyone that may have been unfortunate to hear something. They will be talking to them. It's my understanding that that's in process now, and everyone is cooperating fully. That will give us an idea of not only what unfolded, but it could answer the question to motivation, because again, the students who unfortunately had to witness this. But that's not something that we want to rush. We're not going to interrogate students. We're going to give them an opportunity to come in and speak to what they may have saw when they feel ready, which is why some of these questions can't be answered right now.
All right, Spectrum Road.
How do you reassure the community that it's still okay to go back to school? I mean, everybody's got kids, and I think, you know, maybe it happened at this school, but there's everybody that's got a kid anywhere, right? This in Dane County, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I think you're asking me, how can I say 100% that no child will ever be harmed in school? I can't. No police chief can. But all I can tell you is that we have systems in place so that if something happens, we can respond like we did today. I can tell you that our mayor and our county exec has committed resources to not only public health, but also mental health. I can tell you that every teacher that I've ever had contact with at MMSD cares deeply about their students. Every staff member, I talk to staff members all the time who tell me things that are going on in the schools and want to do whatever they can, even if it's under anonymity, to let me know that they want to have a safe school. So my reassurance to the public is that if you see something, say something. If you know someone who may be going through a difficult time, please reach out to someone. And I think what I can do is make sure that our police department is transparent and open and honest and inviting for people to call and give information. I think MMSD does an excellent job of that, and the same thing can be said for any other private school. If you want to give information or you need someone to talk to, I can promise you we'll have someone there to get that information.
All right, then.
Understanding that this is a private school you may not be as familiar with, what can you tell us about some of the physical measures that are in place at this school, whether it's metal detectors, secure entryway, cameras, et cetera?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've never been in this school, unfortunately. I'm not aware that there were metal detectors in the school. That's something that we can certainly look at. Most schools have some form of surveillance or public space cameras, but that will be, of course, part of the investigation process.
Scott?
Chief, can you clarify, you said 7 were injured, but 6 were hospitalized. Does that mean one's been treated at least? And secondly, is the shooter's family cooperating with the investigation?
Yeah, so that's 2 questions, but let me try to handle the first one. So I'm trying to go back to my notes. So we do know that 1 person was pronounced at the scene, and so that may be the 7th person. But we can get you all that information just when we're done. I'll have my PIO give that to you so you can report it accurately. And what was your second question?
Is the shooter's family cooperating?
At this time, yes.
So you have made contact with the shooter's family?
We have.
And what were the steps to do that?
It's through the investigative process. Okay.
Lauren?
Is the shooter's home being searched? We've heard, we've got some information about that is ongoing.
Yes, obviously, once we have identified, we have initiated a search, but we think that search is either ongoing now or that search may be concluded. Of course, it's about safety. That's the first thing, making sure that people are safe, and then we'll go from there. This has been, this has been an amazing day for everyone. And so if you have someone who is deceased, who may have been a shooter, you want to make sure that their family is okay. You don't know. And so that is what we're doing right now. It is about the safety of everyone. This is going to be a long day for the Madison Police Department. We just want some of your patience.
Are you aware, had the school had any prior threats? And then just, jumping off of that, do you know if the shooter had any prior contact with law enforcement?
We do not know that the shooter had any prior contact with law enforcement, but I did do a check of the school. There were some calls, but they were like 911 hang-ups, things of that nature. There was nothing that suggested that the school was a place that violence would occur.
Chief, I know that you mentioned that the shooter died of a self-inflicted gun wound. Did that happen before officers arrived at the school or when the shooter saw officers coming into the school?
Yeah, so let me say that the cause and manner in which the shooter died will be determined by the inmate. But what I can tell you is the shooter was dead upon our arrival, police department arrival, and no officers fired their weapons. Okay?
What are these search warrants you're executing? Are they at the residence on like a device the shooter had?
What do you, I'm sorry.
The extent of the search warrants.
Yeah, so the extent of the search warrant is to be able to go in a place that we don't have permission to be in and make sure that everyone is okay. And then if there's any evidence that we think we need to collect, we could only do that with the use of a search warrant. And so, again, we have to determine if there is evidence that we will need. Everyone wants to know what led up to this. Are there any additional threats to public safety? Is this person or was this person by themselves? There are a lot of questions that we want to answer, but we have to answer the safety questions first, and then we'll move on to some of the more investigatory questions.
Are you in possession of any of the shooter's devices?
I am not, no.
Catherine?
I'm wondering about metal detectors. You mentioned in the first meeting that you were not a fan, and that this school probably doesn't have them. And do you know other schools that do? Do you think that that's something we should start talking about, metal detectors in schools?
I guess the question is, would you want your child to go to a school with or without metal detectors?
I can't answer that.
I can't.
Right now, in a school without them.
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea is to create the safest environment that we can without metal detectors. That is my answer.
In the back there?
Chief, this was a shooting at a Christian school right before the Christmas holiday. Can you address the impact of that? And is the Christmas holiday at all, in your belief, related to as a motivation for the shooting?
Yeah, so to the question of motivation, we don't know why, but to the question of so close to Christmas, we have a lot of people going to be impacted. If it's a Christian school, then obviously our holidays, our Christian holidays are very important to the students, very important. It's a time for family. Students probably getting ready to go out on break. And now the break will be a little less about celebrating Christmas than more about celebrating perhaps friends and loved ones and staff members who perhaps lost their life. That's why I'm asking everyone to, of course, keep Abundant Life Christian School in your thoughts and in your prayers, and we'll get a couple more, okay?
Okay, real quick, Phoebe.
So it's a private school that takes public money through the voucher system. So what has this revealed about maybe gaps in security or training for staff? Is that something you're thinking about whether schools that are private that take public money need to be, kind of on par with public schools when it comes to safety?
Well, what I'm telling you is that in 1997, I began my professional career as a public school teacher. I taught history for 4 years before becoming a police officer. So I did not get far enough to take courses in administration and budgeting of schools. I don't know what governs private schools, if they receive money, where that comes from. That would probably be a question that you would probably need to ask someone who's more intimately involved in the school system and what their requirements are if they do receive that. But you could probably compare what has happened or what goes on, their security measures, with the security measures of any school in MMSD, and then that may give you your answer. That's a very...
Just one very quick follow-up. As you know, there has been some criticism to other law departments in their response to these school shooting incidents, particularly Uvalde. How did that inform your game plan today, and how quickly were your officers able to get into the school? What were they told to do?
Sure. We train on this, as I spoke about earlier. When officers arrive on the scene, they immediately go in, which we did in this case, stop the threat, stop the killing, find the killer. That's how we train, and that's exactly what we did today. There's no waiting. There's no coordination of who's in charge. Everyone knows exactly what to do. I spoke about this earlier. We train on this constantly. Our commanders, including the fire chief and I, was in a commander's training less than 2 weeks ago, going over this exact same scenario for another fictional location. And so all of that came into play today, and our officers performed extremely well based on their training and based on the expectations that they know exactly what to do. Stop the threat, stop the killing, find the threat.
Right, I promise to follow up. Can we just do one more? Hold on, right here.
Thank you, all.
Yeah.
I think the questions have been asked, and we're straying a little far from what's most important at this point in time, and that is the victims and their families. I have 3 things to add. First of all, there is a lot that our community can and will do in the coming days to support the victims and their families, and we will have more information at future briefings. If anyone, and I would urge you all to include this in your stories, if anyone needs mental health support as a result of this incident and the coverage of it, I encourage them to reach out to 988 by phone or text and to get the mental health support that they need. It is incredibly important that we take care of our community in this very difficult time. We all have a role in preventing gun violence. Our entire community needs to be part of the solution here. There are many things that we can do, and we can have those conversations in coming days. But first and foremost, what needs to be the priority for all of us is supporting our young people. And that is where our community's attention needs to turn at this point in time. The police department, the fire department, the city, the county will share additional information about the investigation as it becomes available. But I urge you all to help our community find resources to support their mental health and to find resources to support the victims and families at this time. Thank you all.
Where can people go to see your updates? What can you tell them?
It'll be on cityofmadison.com. Me, Stephanie, and Cynthia will stick around and answer any other questions, but that's all.
Let me say just before I go, because the mayor mentioned that this was a whole of government response. It certainly was, and there's so many people that we want to thank. We cannot thank everyone, but it's also a whole of law enforcement response. Even though we are in different agencies, we all have the same training, And so I want to thank our partners with the FBI who are here with me today, partners with the ATF, Dane County Emergency Management. Of course, we already talked about our fire department. We've got calls from the Attorney General of the United States, Wisconsin State Patrol, our governor's office, State Patrol, Monona, as well as our sheriff's office. I know I may have left someone out, but thank you for how you responded, professionally, quickly, and according to the way that we all trained, and it all came together to ensure that no other persons were hurt. Thank you.
Chief, could you just say what time you guys made entry? We just want to nail that detail down.
10:57.
But that's the time you made
Oh,
entry.
they right in 1 minute?
We'll work on getting that, so our next,
How long does it take to they arrive to the city to raise back? They received the call at 10:57.
yeah, so I will work on getting that information for our next media briefing. We plan to meet here at 5:30 tonight, and I will work on getting that information.
Do you know how many search warrants were executed?
I don't have that information. I can see if detectives are able to share that number.
Okay, and also have they checked his social media at all?
So that is something that is routine in any investigation. We'll look at any online information.
Today at 5?
Yeah, today at 5:30.
Can someone confirm how long
Where are you from?
So in situations like this, there's where we get a roster of students and instead of contacting their parents, we tell them where to.
Turn your live on. Maddie, turn your live on.
It's on. They said today
I mean, I think we got Amanda Jessup about the shooter.
He would not